All right, I think I made it. I'll be honest, I usually never start on time. Some of us like to be the little fashionably late. I apologize for that, but sometimes it happens. What can I say? Welcome to the Himmelgod Has Spoken, episode number 18. A day, what's up, Two Marks crew? It's been a day that has put me in panic mode. Uh, Things have been a little ridiculous today. A day that started out very interesting, slow and interesting. Your typical day. What's up, Drew? Holy cow! It just went like to shit, like really fast, and I had to sit here and rearrange a lot of stuff. Not really to have to do the show tonight, but more on things that are coming up in the next week or so as my job is going to start ramping up here. Give me 1 second. We're going to be ready to go. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Well, okay, not as much. Might be it's going to be definitely be a shorter show than last week's 2-hour runtime. This week that's not going to happen. So give me a second, guys. We're going to be ready to go here. Just hang out for a moment. Hang out, chat, everyone. Get a drink. We're going to be ready to go here in just a minute. And on that note, as my dog wanted to leave because I was talking too loud while he was trying to sleep, welcome to episode 18. Something that was almost put together out of nothing, but I made it into something this week. That's what I had to do. Make to as many shows as I can. That's why, hey, there you go, Drew. I greatly appreciate it. So, a lot of stuff, a few things to get into today. I made a trip to Universal Orlando this week, and I want to talk about Fast and Furious Supercharged. So we're going to get into that. It's a new attraction that opened up back in May. I finally got home to go check it out. I'm going to have my impressions on that. I still need to check out Pandora yet over at Animal Kingdom, and Toy Story Land, which just opened up at Hollywood Studios. So we'll get into those in later dates. But we did check out Universal Studios, and I want to get into Fast and Furious because I'm kind of not as happy with this attraction, and I'm going to talk about it why during this episode. Also, we're going to have some fallout from WWE this past weekend with SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver. My thoughts of this event, what was going through my mind as these matches were going on, and where things plan to go from here. My opinions of how this went down. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Talking about things like Roman Reigns or Becky Lynch and her heel turn. I called it, by the way. I freaking called it. Told you it was going to happen. Also, Battlefield 5. News started to appear about Battlefield 5's weak pre-order sales. Why are the pre-order sales so weak for Battlefield 5? We got some reasons why it was so bad. So we're going to get into that here today and a few other things. We got some new releases and release dates of some stuff that I want to go ahead and talk about, and Gamescom, which is going on right now this week. I think today is the last day of Gamescom, so we're going to be talking a little Gamescom info, and we're going to get into some things that they're working on for, I guess, down the road or whatever. So thank you guys for joining me here today. Make yourselves comfortable. As I said, grab a drink if you need to. Hell, I thought I'd be slamming beers tonight, but I haven't. But who knows? Maybe during my South Park stream after the show tonight, we're going to do South Park: The Fractured But Whole again. And we're going to get into some more content, more gameplay. We did about 4 hours of streaming a couple nights ago, and it was great. It was so much fun until the game froze up about a little bit, and it broke up into 2 parts. So hopefully you guys caught both parts of South Park, because we're going to have more tonight, and the action's going to get a bit more intense as we get into our first night as a superhero outside of what we did with the Stick of Truth, and it involves a strip club. So it's going to be very interesting, guys. Tune into that tonight because shit's going to go down. I think the club is called Peppermints, and anything can happen over there at Peppermints as long as you're not in the champagne room. So who knows what's going to go down tonight, so make sure you guys check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So as I said, sit back, relax, let's enjoy. Let's get all the shout outs and stuff out of the way. Make sure you guys are following me over on Twitter, the usual thing, at highoctane_buzz. We're over 1,000 followers. I greatly appreciate everybody who's been supporting the channel, or really supporting the Twitter page. So I haven't been posting as much, but I think in the coming weeks that's going to change. We'll talk about that later. Also, make sure you guys are checking me out on Twitch, especially tonight. South Park tonight is going to continue. _Himmelgod over on Twitch. Guys, if you've never been on Twitch, you haven't signed up for an account, sign up for a Twitch account. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Come on over and you can watch anybody you want. Joe's on there. I'm on there. There's a lot of people that are on Twitch, so make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. What's up, Great Deity? And of course, Elias is in the house. So if it's your first time here tonight on YouTube, as you guys know, if you're checking out the show for the first time, for anyone who's probably watching this at a later date and this is the first time that you're here, do yourself a favor. Make yourself at home. I always say this all the time. Don't be shy. Try to join us on a live event sometimes. So if you're live, you can participate in the chat. Like Steve Callan. What's up, Steve? Have some fun with all of us. That's the whole point of being here. Most importantly, welcome. That's the most important thing. If you do enjoy the show, go ahead, give me a like. Greatly appreciate. Click the thumbs up. People have been doing that already as we started. Subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, click the bell to get your notifications. I'm kind of working on that part with notifications to let you guys know when I go live. So I'm doing a little bit better on that day by day. You'd think I'd have it down by now, but I don't. Working on it. Seriously, I'm getting better at it. Shout out to the one and only Joe Cronin at Corrupted Pod over on Twitter. We had the great Twitter purge go on a little while ago, so catching up on everybody on Twitter is going to be a pain in the butt, but we're keeping up with the Twitter accounts. So at Corrupted Pod to find Joe Cronin, and of course on YouTube, Joe Cronin Show, Corrupted Podcast, Battle Royale Battalion. There's plenty of channels to go check them out. What is up, Luke Rojas? If the Packers steal Khalil Mack, I will forever hate them. It may happen, man. It may happen. We could get into that a little bit. I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to be talking football, whether it's this episode or in maybe some future episodes. But make sure you guys are checking out Joe. Over 57,000 subs over on YouTube. Send him some love. Daily wrestling content. If you want your Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, you go over there, check him out on Mondays and Tuesdays. Wednesday, out of nowhere, they had another good episode this week. They got Thursday Night Throwdown, although they haven't had an episode for a couple weeks. Maybe we get one tonight. Who knows? Make sure you check that out. Of course, the one and only monetized this Friday night. Maybe I make an appearance. You never know. I did one. I made an appearance late in the show last week. You can ask Gatekeeper Drew. He knows. Joe is closing in on 58,000 subs. But make sure you guys are checking them out. Of course, Patreon for Joe. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Thank you, Drew. He's letting us know that Throwdown should be happening tonight. As well as I'll be doing a South Park stream tonight. But hey, we're all working hard to create content. What can we say? Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. You get the Corrupted Podcast. Saturdays. Saturday late night for Corrupted. They had a great show this past weekend. It was like an all-star show. So if you missed out, you need to go get that. As much as $1 a month, you can go ahead and check out Corrupted. $2 a month gets you the audio upload. So you don't have to donate much to go check out a great show in Corrupted. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Make sure you guys check out Foulmouth Ken at Ken Foulmouths. I know he's been on a bit of a vacation this summer, but we're going to start seeing shows start to reappear on Ken's channel, and it's going to be really awesome. Hey, Alpha Excalibur is in the house, so make sure you guys are checking out Foulmouth Ken, Foulmouth Network, Foulmouth Nation over on YouTube. Send them some love, man, because their shows have been, bar none, probably some of the best I've been watching on YouTube as of late. So check out Ken and Filthy and Cunny Chris and the gang, and whoever else shows up. Tommy could show up, or any one of us could show up. So make sure you guys are going and checking out Foulmouth Ken. Of course, Foulmouth Live on Wednesdays, Insomniac on Saturdays. Check out Foulmouth Ken and check out all the cool shit that he does on his channel. Speaking of Foulmouth's Network, here's one of those shirts. How's your fucking neck? Wearing the How's Your Fucking Neck shirt here tonight. Thought I'd go ahead and break out one of the older shirts from Foul Mounts Network. Check out Gatekeeper Drew at Gatekeeper5150, Derailed Gatekeeper over on YouTube. We got Derailed late night on Saturday, so if you're not a Patreon on Joe, check out the Derailed podcast on Saturday. I mean, it's like anything can happen on that show. What's up, Shell? Great to have you here. Anything happens on the show, anything goes. I don't know what Drew has for a subject this week. We'll find out from him. I'm pretty sure at some point during this podcast. So Drew will go ahead and keep us up to date. So I plan on being there this Saturday night. So it's going to probably be my last show for a little while because of work. But again, we'll get into that later on. You mentioned Viewer's Choice this week. Oh boy, that's going to be fun. Viewer's Choice. That basically means anything can happen. So make sure you guys check out Derailed Saturday night following Insomniac over on YouTube. That's Derailed Gatekeeper over on YouTube. Check out the one and only Billy Ricky at BillyRicky03 over on Twitter, Billy Ricky on YouTube. We got the Insomniac warm-up show Saturdays at about 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the lead up into Insomniac. It's a great show. Billy Ricky just unloads on everything. It could be some drama stuff. He can rock out on his guitar. Maybe he'll drop some hot peppers like he did on YouTube today. So make sure you guys are checking out. Billy Ricky provides great content, and everyone should be watching it. It's a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of laughs with Billy Ricky. And of course, finally, the 2 Mark crew at 2 Mark's crew over on the Twitter, and the 2 Mark crew over on YouTube. By the way, they reached 100 subs. Congratulations to 2 Mark's crew for reaching 100 subs. Congratulations on that. Greatly deserve it. I've been on the show on Fridays this past weekend for NXT and for SummerSlam. I joined them for live reaction, which was a blast. Gina and I are still going on the name game. That has not ended yet. We figured that would have ended this past weekend. It's still going. Looks like round 3 could be happening on Friday night. So Friday night, right before Monetize This, you can catch the 2 Marks crew. I'm pretty sure we'll be talking about Raw and SmackDown and maybe getting back into SummerSlam from this past weekend. So let's see. Oh my God, Drew, what you're commenting there? That's crazy. The Himmelgod t-shirt, by the way, still available at teespring.com, courtesy of the Foul Mounts Network. Head over to teespring.com/Foul Mounts Network. Click on the link that's in my Twitter account. If you go there to pin link, that will take you right to Teespring, and you can check out the Himmelgod t-shirt. Still there, still available. Mugs, hoodies are also available. We're getting closer to that season where maybe the hoodies, you want to break out them hoodies. So it's still there for you. Or maybe you want to get a coffee mug and have a little Himmelgod in your cup every morning. That can happen. So a lot for you guys to go ahead and check out. Great stuff. Maybe we can have another Himmelgod t-shirt coming up down the road. We'll work on that because that shirt's been out for a while, and I think maybe it's time to get a new design going. And we'll have that available whether I start my own Teespring or I stick with Foul Mounts, because Ken has been so great to me to work on that stuff, and I want to keep that going. So teespring.com, make sure you guys check it out. Cups, if you want your coffee cup, you want your hoodie, you want a t-shirt, whatever it is. Joe is on there. You got Ken on there. Billy Ricky is on there. Maybe Gatekeeper Drew could be up there at some point and start doing Teespring. Whatever it is, we got to work on. 2 Marks crew is also on Teespring, so make sure you get that. Yeah, get that Himmel Jizz tonight. But let me tell you, man, this week has been an entertaining week to start with, to the panic mode of today, because my job fucked up. They told me that the day I was supposed to report to this job over in Iowa, where I'm going to, I'm doing a two-city trip for the next 2.5 months. And the first stop I'm going to is in Iowa, and then after that I'm going back to Green Bay, Wisconsin. But the Iowa trip was scheduled for September 4th. I get a phone call after I got out of the gym today to say, "Hey, Bri, we just want to let you know we made a mistake, and we need you at the location by August 30th." And I said, "Fuck me." I went absolutely crazy because I had to go ahead and cancel a flight, make a new flight, cancel out of one of my hotel rooms that I had set up because the rental car company would have been closed when I showed up. So I had to do Ubers or taxis and all that shit. And now I don't have to worry about that part. So I had to fix the freaking the rental car situation, the hotel situation, by flights, make sure everything works and vibes. And thank God, after about an hour, we got that all squared away, and everything is back to normal again, except for the part that now I got to rush a little sooner to pack and get out of here next week. So, not going to have a lot of the content that I would usually provide during the week next week because of the fact that I'll be leaving. So, around this weekend might be the last you see of stuff on Twitch until after I return again. So, probably going to be recording a lot of gameplay and putting it up on YouTube. So YouTube's probably going to be the place to be for a little while until after I get back, and then we'll be back doing Twitch again. So we're going to see how it works out, or how these hotels work out with internet. I've got a good hotel early on, so when I'm in Iowa, and I know it's a really good hotel because I was there before and they have internet connection. I should not have a problem going online, and we probably shouldn't have a problem doing stuff on Twitch. The only bad news is this job is a 7-day-a-week job. It's 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and usually by the time I get back, it's sleep and get ready to go ahead and go again the next day. So I don't know how the schedule is going to be for next week. If we're going to have another episode of Himmelgod Has Spoken next week, I will let you know on Twitter, so make sure you guys are following. What's up, TSS? Make sure you guys are following, because that way I can tell you if there's going to be an episode next week or not. Because the first day of my job actually starts on that day, on that Thursday. So I'll prepare stuff as if we're going to have one, but there's a chance it might not happen. So stay tuned for that. But as far as gaming streams go, we might have some in the early part of the week if the internet is very stable. I'll do a test on that Tuesday, and maybe Tuesday night have a stream if things work out all right. As far as I said, I've been to this hotel before. They're good with internet, and we shouldn't have a problem. So we'll see. Anyway, there you go. Things are going on. Things are happening. Things are moving. And we're getting into outage season for me. And after outage season is over, which is going to be in November, we'll be back to normal schedule like I've been doing for the past few weeks. So there you go. Anyway, moving on. Let's get to the episode. We're like 17 minutes in. I'm still talking about me, right? No one came here for that. New releases this week, so let's get right to it. The new releases, little light on new releases this week, but if you're into remasters, obviously this is a good week for remasters. Shenmue 1 and 2 are now available. So the Dreamcast classic Shenmue, which has been received well by so many people, is available right now. So Shenmue 2, which I think appeared on the original Xbox. And if you remember, Shenmue was supposed to be this game where everything you worked on from the first game was to carry over into the second game and then carry over into a third game. But eventually we never got the third game until recently when they announced a third game, which I will get into later. But Shenmue 1 and 2 are now available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC today. Actually, a couple of days ago. $29.99 gets you that collection. I bought it, I have it, and I'm going to be live streaming it down the road. So I will do Shenmue. So I'm very excited to do that. For those of you guys that have PS4 and you enjoy Shenmue, check out another series called Yakuza, which is freaking fantastic. So make sure you guys are checking out Yakuza and Shenmue. It all blends in very well together, and it's pretty freaking awesome. So Shenmue has been that Dreamcast classic I loved. Shenmue 2 I've never played yet, and I really want to. So this is my opportunity to finally play it. Also new this week, Deadpool 2, everybody. Deadpool 2 now available on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, which is what I have here. This is the super duper cut. There's two versions out there. There is a theatrical version if you want to get that. And then you got the super duper cut, which adds, I think, about at least an extra 15 minutes to the movie. It extends some scenes. It brings some extra laughs to the movie. especially in the post credits and mid credits scene, especially when he gets the time device for Cable and goes back in time. There's an extended scene in that post credits with him and Hugh Jackman from the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. When you see him, the Deadpool that he was doing in that movie and wants to fix the timeline. Now he converses with Hugh Jackman during that scene, and it's pretty freaking awesome. There's also an extra mid-credit scene and then a post-credit. And then during the movie, they extend a couple of other scenes, especially with the recruitment of X-Force. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. And then they add a few other things here and there into the film. So it's really cool. Get the super duper cut if you love Deadpool. Get this one. This is the one that's worth buying. It does include the theatrical version if you want it, and but it has both the theatrical and super duper. You can't lose on this. It's great, and it is one of my favorite movies this past summer, and now I have it. So other than Infinity War, so thank God for Deadpool. Also new this week, I know a lot of people might not be fans of this past season of The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead Season 8 now available on DVD and Blu-ray. Season 8 might not be everybody's cup of tea. I know some people don't like Season 8. They want to get back to the zombies, or what we call the walkers, actually. I shouldn't be calling them zombies, but they're walkers. But Season 9 is going to start bringing in the Whisperers, so we're going to start getting that horror aspect back into The Walking Dead again, compared to All Out War that we've seen now for the past couple of seasons with Negan. But this is Season 8, wraps everything up with All Out War. Some of the episodes do get a little bit of an extended version of that episode here in Season 8. So check it out if you're a fan of The Walking Dead. I'm a fan of The Walking Dead. So Season 8 now available, DVD, Blu-ray. Go get it. As I said, I know Season 8's not everybody's cup of tea. I know that The Walking Dead's been dragging a bit, but it looks like Season 9 is going to be the one to watch as the Whisperers come into play. So a lot of people have been waiting for this. The trailer that they showed at Comic-Con was very interesting. I know that there's a downer with Maggie and Rick leaving after this season, which really sucks, but the show is going to go on. Daryl's going to end up being the leader. So let's just see how this goes ahead and unfolds. But as I said, the Whispers is going to be a really big deal coming into Season 9. We'll still have some Rick and some Maggie and, again, some Negan into this coming season. So there you go. This week, as I mentioned earlier, Gamescom is going on. Today, of course, is the last day of Gamescom. Gamescom is basically the European E3. A lot of stuff going on with that. A lot of release dates were brought into play, and I'm going to share some of this newly released information that came from Gamescom and some other really cool stuff like, let's see, I think there was a demo to Devil May Cry 5, which looked really good, as well as a trailer for Resident Evil 2, which featured Claire. So we got Claire Redfield gameplay, which looked fantastic, by the way. And I'm looking forward to that game even more when it arrives in January. And I did get the collector's edition for that game, so expect an unboxing of the Resident Evil 2 collector's edition. So I'm really excited about that. But another game I'm really interested about is from Software, and this is a game called Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. This is a game I brought up back during my E3 reviews. This is going to be an awesome thing. Did I become a corporate shill? No, I have not, Luke. Come on. Gotta love them sponsors. Sponsored by The Walking Dead and Deadpool 2. There you go. I just freaking sold out to everybody. Anyway, Sekiro: Shadows of Time from Software. Activision's going to be publishing it. They announced a release date of March 22nd, 2019. And as you know, this game's more of also a Dark Souls and Bloodborne style of game, but in a, I guess you could throw a little shinobi sense into it. So it's going to be really awesome. And everything I've seen of the gameplay so far, check out some videos online of this game. It's going to be really good. So check that out. March 22nd, 2019. They also announced the collector's edition. I don't think I'm going to pick up the collector's edition because the statue's not that big. It's only like a 7-inch statue. I'm going to be like, no, I don't want that. I want something pretty big to fit, on my shelves to have something look really cool. Also announced, we talked about Shenmue earlier. Shenmue 3 now has a release date, August 27th, 2019 for Shenmue 3. So we're going to get that conclusion to the story that we've always wanted. A game that was announced a few years ago at E3 via Kickstarter. Finally, going to get the conclusion to that story. It's going to be available for PS4 and PC on August 27, 2019. I'm pretty sure an Xbox version will follow later on. I would think that probably the PS4 version's got some exclusive rights early on, and then after that timed exclusivity goes away, the Xbox version's gonna have Shenmue 3 as well. Because I mean, why would they release it on Xbox and not have Shenmue 3? It makes no sense. So I can assume at that point, if you're having Shenmue 1 and 2 on Xbox, you should have Shenmue 3 as well. So as I said, timed exclusivity more than likely on that one. Also announced this week, Call of Duty World War II, the final DLC is set to arrive called Shadow War. It's set to release on PS4 next week. This includes 3 new multiplayer maps, a war mode map, and the conclusion to the Nazi zombie story, which, I'll be honest, the zombies for the World War II game, I was very interested to see what it was going to happen. They were talking about the game was going to be scary, it was going to be more realistic and stuff like that. They didn't really nail that home. I think the realism part, I think they did pretty decent on that. But as far as everything else, it just didn't come off as great as it should. The last DLC that they had for zombies was not that great. It just felt boring and more like a horde mode. And it's here, do this. But if you fail at this, game over. And it's like, well, that's not the way it should be going. So very disappointed with that. And the maps haven't been that great, to be honest with you. So it just goes to show how well Treyarch is when they're doing zombies, and especially with Black Ops 4 coming up, and how zombies is starting to come out, and the mutators and all the ways that you can incorporate zombies as they're announcing new modes and new ways to play, and that you can make the game easier or harder, or there's different Easter eggs to uncover. They're really setting the tone for what zombies is supposed to be. And that's why Treyarch is doing it so well, whereas Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer have a lot of catching up to do to try and reach what Treyarch has done for the last 10 years. They've perfected the formula, and it just seems like they're playing catch up. Everyone else is playing catch up at this point. But Shadow War DLC available next week. Tekken 7 Season 2. I talked about this a little earlier in a previous episode where I talked about Season 2 of Tekken is set to launch on September 6th with Anna Williams and Lei Wulong. They were both in that trailer that they showed at EVO. So we got to see that, and then you see the whole bunch of question marks, and then at the end you saw Negan. No word yet of when Negan's going to arrive. I would assume that Negan will be playable around the time The Walking Dead premieres on AMC. So when that happens, we'll get Anna and Lei Wulong first, and then after that we'll get Negan, and then they'll go through the rest of the season. But the first 2 characters available on September 6th. Also, they will have some balance changes in an update, new character moves, new mechanics and properties, new rage drives, and more. So a lot still coming up. Maybe we get another game mode, like how we had the Tekken Bowling. So we might have something else involved in that as well. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Another remaster we're getting, but this time on the Nintendo Switch, Saints Row the Third. Everybody remember Saints Row the Third? I mean, that game was back in 2011, back on the Xbox 360 and PS3. It's now coming to Nintendo Switch with a release date for next year. Sometime next year. They haven't announced a release date. I'd love to see how far they're going to go with this. Are we going to get those big purple dildo bats that we had in the game before? Is that going to happen? Who knows? But I liked Saints Row the Third. It was actually one of my favorites in the Saints Row series. It was completely wacky. It was completely just off the wall, and I enjoyed it very much. And it was like making fun of Grand Theft Auto in a way, not trying to be Grand Theft Auto like the first two games were. This one was like, okay, we're not going to be Grand Theft Auto. We're just going to go completely wild. And they went and did that, and it was awesome. So Saints Row the Third coming to Nintendo Switch sometime next year. So there you go. State of Decay 2 has announced the Daybreak DLC, which has officially been announced for release on Xbox One and Windows 10 PC on September 12th. Big purple dildo bats. The new downloadable content, no, they will not have dildo bats in State of Decay 2, but the content will feature basically a horde mode where you're going to play as a Red Talon soldier defending your location from increasing waves of zombies. That sounds familiar. What other game does increasing waves of zombies or does horde mode or some of these other things that we've been playing now since, what, 2009? 2008? I mean, it's 2018 now. Why are we still playing some of the same bullshit? So, I don't get why they're doing this in the game and making a separate DLC. Not a big fan of that. But also announced was a new zombie freak in the game called the Blood Plague Juggernaut. Basically, someone in a live stream saying, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," basically is going to show up in someone's live stream. So, whoever's streaming the game, I haven't really streamed State of Decay 2, but it looks like someone's going to be running around, "It's the Juggernaut, bitch," doing all sorts of crap, like they showed in X-Men 3. But they got that DLC coming up, and that is September 12th. Rare has announced that the next update to Sea of Thieves, if anyone's still playing Sea of Thieves, entitled Forsaken Shores. This will be available on Xbox One and Windows 10 PC on September 19th. This new update will add a volcanic world called Devil's Roar. Sea of who? Says Elias. Exactly. The island will erupt from time to time, bringing tremors, geysers, flying rocks, and heating the water to the point of boiling around the island, which is enough to kill you. Nice. To get past the hot water, they're going to add a new rowboat. So if you don't have the rowboat, you're screwed. You can't get on the island. So you got to make sure you get that rowboat. So that'll be available to all adventurers out there. Obviously, you're going to have to acquire it. The update will also add a new mission called Cargo Runs, which will have you moving supplies from one point to another. Yeah, that really sounds interesting. But can I just go fight the skeletons like we did in the previous time that no one really cared about? I'm interested to see where this DLC is going to go. It's a free DLC, by the way. It's a free update. But who's still playing Sea of Thieves anymore? I mean, that game dropped off heavily after its, first month. The game just dropped off. Who was really playing? Everyone just bounced out of the game because it was empty of content. Now you're getting content, but I feel like it's a little too late. Or maybe it's trying to catch up like No Man's Sky did after all these years. Because when you really think about it, Sea of Thieves feels like what No Man's Sky is. So it's kind of weird, but maybe this will work out. It'll bring players back into the game. The game is on Game Pass, and we'll see what happens with that. Also announced Halo, the Master Chief Collection, should be getting its 4K update in September. They've announced that, and also that the game is now on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, which is only $9.99 a month on Xbox, which is a pretty good deal, to be honest with you, over 100 games that they feature every month, Netflix-style service. You download the games, unlike streaming them like you would do on PlayStation. You download them into your hard drive, play them when you want to, and as long as you are a member of Game Pass, you keep playing the games. It works out. So it's like a big rental service, but you rent as many games as you want to and sit there and play. And Sea of Thieves is back on there. State of Decay is on there. So you should be able to play these games, check them out, and if they work out for you, great. And if they don't, you just delete them, move on to something else. So it's a good service. It works out. And a lot of new games they will feature, especially first-party stuff. I know I sounded like a corporate shill right there, but trust me, I'm no corporate shill. I'm going to take a swig here. I know I should probably be drinking beer tonight, but I'm not. I wouldn't be too surprised tomorrow I start drinking beer. Joe Compton says, are you going to do the $1 million challenge on WWE 2K19? Hell yeah, I'm going to do the $1 million challenge. Are you kidding me? Of course. I mean, walking around with $1 million belt in that game, that would be great. By the way, Heistman Defoe did a great, he sent a photo to me while I was on Xbox and I was doing South Park. I think I was doing South Park that day, or I might have been playing something else, where he showed me a picture of a triple threat match between myself, Drew, and JP Baker, and it looked awesome. So shout out to Heistman Defoe for showing that off, because we're going to have a Himmelgod Wrestling Federation in WWE 2K19, and we're going to get you guys, members of this community. I know I hate that word, but we're going to have matches. We're going to have a monetize this championship, obviously. We'll have the $1 million belt. We'll have tag team belts. We'll have a women's championship. And you guys will be the ones earning those belts. And Heistman Defoe has a Twitter. Yes, he does. Heistman Defoe has a Twitter. Everyone's got a Twitter. Who does not have a Twitter? Maybe Drew doesn't have a Twitter. Who knows? Everyone's got a Twitter at this point. You have to. It's just the way it is. Everyone's got a Twitter. But we're going to have a Himmelgod Wrestling Federation starting in November. So we got to start getting to work on creating your characters around that time so we can have the first couple episodes. I'm thinking the first episode of the show could be a tournament. A tournament. Yes, WWE hates doing tournaments, right? But I'm going to do a tournament for the Monetize This Championship. So we'll have a Monetize This belt based on the old design or whatever Joe's going to work on for the Monetize This belt. And we're going to have a tournament for the Monetize This Championship on that first episode. So we're going to get all the former champions created into the game into a tournament to determine the champion. So how do you get in? We'll be talking about that, Luke. We'll have to be in contact with you to get a likeness of you in the game and figure out music and moves and stuff like that. So we'll eventually be talking, whether it's on Twitter. You guys can DM me. Maybe you catch me on Skype one night, and we'll work on that process to create your character. You can make it as wacky as you want. You can be realistic, whatever you want to be. Maybe you want to look like a troll or whatever it is. We're going to make it work, and we're going to have a lot of fun making these calls. I'll be doing play-by-play call. Maybe I can get Bobbitt in with a play-by-play call. Maybe we get the Two Marks crew in. I'm pretty sure we'll get both of them, Dwayne and Everett, as a tag team in that game. So we'll have to start creating tag teams and a whole bunch of other stuff. So looking forward to putting that game together. And anyone who wants to be a part of the game, let me know so I can create your character in the game. And then we'll have some WWE stars mixed in as well. So we'll create like all sorts of wacky stuff and have this federation that is of our own. And I'll be honest, I think it'll be more interesting than what Raw and Smackdown have been as of late. So we'll go figure that out. We're going to talk wrestling in just a little bit. But one last gaming topic I want to get into is Battlefield 5. And if you guys have heard some news about Battlefield 5, it has not been great. Basically, terrible news circulating out of EA, and that according to market analyst groups, they have classified the pre-order sales, I know, pre-orders, of EA's upcoming shooter Battlefield 5 as, quote-unquote, weak. Not very good. They're not happy with them. Sales are bad. And usually they judge a lot of things by pre-order sales to judge how the game is going to be down the road, which kind of really sucks. Because I think for a lot of people to pre-order a game, you're pre-ordering something that isn't even finished yet. And they'll announce a bunch of DLC for a game, but it's like, wait, the game's not even out yet. Companies are known to do this, which is kind of bullshit, but they do. Anyway, these numbers have been compared. Let's see, the Renegade and Himmelgod, the Gods of Thunder. There you go, Joe Compton. That would be awesome, bro. These numbers have been compared to Activision's Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption 2. Both of these games are showing greater pre-order demand, okay, despite the fact that the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta came off as disappointing by fans. I've been one to say that the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta that they just released just recently, the multiplayer beta, has not been very good. But I do have the game pre-ordered. We all know how good Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be, which is going to blow the roof off everything. You know, we knew how Grand Theft Auto 5 was, so you know Red Dead's going to be in that same position because it's highly anticipated. When it comes to Call of Duty, a lot of zombie fans are looking forward. There are a lot of zombie fans from Treyarch's Call of Duty experience that are looking forward to that game. And then you look at Battlefield and it's like, Battlefield, you know, whatever. So why the low numbers? Why are things so bad? They've said at one point that the sales for Black Ops 4 compared to Battlefield 5 are at 85% better. So 85% better sales of Black Ops 4 right now than Battlefield. And a lot of people want to trash Black Ops 4, but they're still pre-ordering like mad. So go figure. But anyway, why the low numbers? Keep in mind, I want you to keep in mind, that the previous release of Battlefield 1 was a major success for EA. It was huge. It blew the roof off everything. A lot of people liked Battlefield 1. So why is Battlefield 5 right now so bad? So here's the reasons why these things have been coming up. One is the release date. The current release is for Battlefield 5 is October 16th, which puts it in between the release of Black Ops 4, which is October 12th, 4 days before, and Red Dead Redemption 2 on October 26th. So you're smack dab in the middle of two big games, and you're going to release this game. Remember how Titanfall 2 was a couple of years ago? Same situation. So we're kind of in that same boat here. And I remember how Titanfall 2 was in between Call of Duty and Battlefield at that time, Battlefield 1, and it was like, you got 3 shooters within 3 weeks, something's going to go bad, and it ended up being Titanfall. So now Battlefield 5 is in that position right now. Other October releases for that month, big releases, WWE 2K19, Forza Horizon 4, Soul Calibur 6, hell, even Super Mario Party is going to be out for the Switch that month. So it's a bad month. Some people like to classify, I think Angry Joke says it great about October, known as Broketober. Too many games in one time. Something's going to go bad for a certain game where it's just not going to sell very well. Next thing you know, Black Friday rolls around. They're trying to get them out at half the price, which is good for us as consumers, but bad for the companies that are making these games. So, because now they might say, oh, well, the sales are so bad, well, we're not going to pump out DLC. Fuck this. We're just going to leave the game the way it is. Kind of keep that in mind because you don't want something to go bad. Also, as you know, Battlefield 5 is going to have free DLC and no microtransactions. They made a big deal about that shit. No microtransactions, free DLC for everybody. Great. Finally, they're going to do something right. You would think Call of Duty would have done that, but they're not. But the bad part is you're smack dab in the middle of all these games. Something has to give. And it's just not working for EA right now. Another reason why sales are low. EA's chief design officer, Patrick Sutherland, has stepped down just 2 months before the release of this game. He was also the CEO of DICE for 10 years. So all of a sudden, he's stepping down. Someone else is going to have to come in to ride the release of this game. Now, Sutherland will be there until the release of the game, but someone else is going to step into the reign. So when you're having a change up in the front office, things aren't very good. This could be in terms of development. It could be in terms of things that were said either through social media, which we're going to get to, and a few other things that come into mind. So if someone's stepping down, it's like saying, is he getting out while the going's good? And that maybe this game is not as good as people had hoped, especially when you have DICE working on the game and you have your big man from DICE, who's also a head honcho over at EA, stepping down. Not looking good. Third, obviously, player backlash. We got a lot of people giving a lot of backlash about Battlefield. Here's the reason why. Fans of Battlefield were not too thrilled about the prominent use of women, female characters, on the front lines in Battlefield 5. The outrage of fans saying that the game is not what we would call historically accurate. Okay? It's not to the events of World War II. We got people using the hashtag #NotMyBattlefield to lodge their complaints. Here's a thought, guys. Women sort of played a role in World War II. They weren't just carrying the men's babies and cooking in the fucking kitchen. Okay? Some women have been out there, even in the front lines of World War II, especially if you think about France, when the Nazis occupied France, and there were some women that were out there for the liberation of France. This is true. Some women have been out there as snipers. Some have even been in as pilots, but they're not really mentioned because when you think about all the historical things that we've seen of World War II, where have you seen the women? We don't. In America, they were building tanks. They were building things. They were working in the offices, making sure the letters got out and stuff like that. They weren't just a bunch of baby mamas and cooking food and taking care of everything else. There was a lot more to it. So, show a little respect. What's up, Merge? Women fought in the French Resistance, I believe. That is absolutely correct, Steve. And anyone who played Call of Duty World War II might have seen this because they did show that, how some of the women did play roles in the La Resistance over in France, especially in Paris, as they're trying to liberate from the Germans. So this was a big deal. And unfortunately, we have some pretty bad gamers who are not very level-headed. Those who don't think, don't see it. Now, were they all really on the front line? That's hard to say, especially in America, because you didn't get women on the front line until maybe a few years ago when Obama was in office and they made that happen. So something to keep in mind. EA, though, did quickly respond, calling these people uneducated, the simpletons out there. And they went on to use the hashtag everyone's battlefield. They even went on to say, accept it or don't buy the game. By the way, that was from the man who was stepping down, Patrick Sutherland. Stepping down, you said some dumb shit. Now look at what's happening in the process. So it's not looking very good. So, I mean, maybe Anita Sarkeesian showed up at the offices of DICE and made all the developers bend the knee and lick the clit of the queen bitch. Who knows? Something happened that they put women in the game with prosthetic arms and all this other stuff, and that they're on the front line or whatever they're doing. So they bent the knee, licked the clit, whatever it was, of Anita Sarkeesian, because she's out there saying women need to be more involved in games. They need to be the main characters and all this other bullshit. Let's just face it. Anita Sarkeesian's only out for one person, and that's herself. She doesn't care about games. She doesn't play games. She doesn't know shit. Okay? But she's out there saying we need to be equal. No, we don't. Okay? You got Tomb Raider. Listen, I'm all for women in games. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with equality and all that bullshit. But yeah, Anita Sarkeesian's a cunt. Okay? Bottom line. What are you going to do? Take my channel down? Not going to happen. I don't have that many subs. What are you going to do? Right? I can say what I want to say. That's just how it is. Anita Sarkeesian is what she is. She's a bitch. And then she gets called out for some of the things that she does. And when she's sitting there trying to be a feminist, then takes a picture of her in a short dress and wants to exemplify her ass. Hey, guys, look at my ass. Yeah, great job for equality, you dumb hoe. Bend the knee, lick the clit. That's what you're going to do. Fuck that. That's how I roll. She's a feminazi. Absolutely, Shell, she is. But Battlefield 5 not looking too good, but I think a lot of it has to do with the release date. The backlash has been bad. Anytime they release a trailer, it gets a lot of downvotes from people. And we need to get the simpletons out of the way to understand that women did play a role in World War II, okay? We just don't see it as much, but we know they did, okay? Stop trying to use historically accurate. It's not like Call of Duty World War II was historically accurate, okay? This is their interpretation of World War II. Merge, if you got a question, ask it, man. Ask the question. I'm watching the chat, bro. Go ahead and ask the question. Don't feel afraid. That's when we tell people to be in here. Don't be afraid to ask something. Put it out there. All right? I even wait for you to ask your question. Type it. Type it quick because I might move on to something else. Come on, Merge. Everyone should just put in the chat, hurry up, Merge. Hurry and ask your question. There you go. Broken Hardy's Goat's like, ask the damn question already. What's your question, Merge? Put it out there, man. We want to hear you. Everybody else is watching is on pins and needles. There you go. Johnny Ray Sinister. Hurry the hell up, Merge. I love it, man. Everybody just type it out in the chat, baby. Get Merge to hurry up and ask the question already. This must be a long question because he's still going. What is it? What's your question, Merge? Oh, come on, Broken Hearties, go. Don't go there. Elias is like, hurry up. I'll tell you what. I'll watch for the question. I'll answer it after we go, as we go in the show, because we got to keep things moving. We got a South Park stream to go through tonight. I can't see any block me, says Shell. Oh no, Merge, come on, man. Anyway, how's your? That's your question? How's your fucking neck? How's your fucking neck? My neck is great, bitches. That was his question. He waited this whole time to just say, how's your fucking neck? You bastard. I love you, man, but damn, man. He waited all that. Hey, everybody in the chat should tell Merge, hey, how's your fucking neck? Anyway, WWE. We want to get to WWE. I want to get to this. I watched NXT TakeOver over this past weekend, and I watched SummerSlam. Honestly, between the two shows, I enjoyed TakeOver more than SummerSlam. As a prognosticator for those making predictions, I did pretty well on this past weekend. My neck is dead sexy, says the Merge. Mine's better. Anyway, I did pretty well at predictions this past weekend, going 5-0 in NXT. Unfortunately, only went 8-5 with SummerSlam. 13-5 for the weekend for all the matches. 72% on a winning percentage. So I did very well. I've seen your neck, Merge. Quit lying to yourself. This is Shiny Ray Sinister. Holy shit. You guys are going to go crazy over there. But I did pretty well at predictions. I wouldn't say it's enough to win and Wrestle Rumble. Who, by the way, they just followed me over on Twitter. But did very well with NXT. I'm not saying it was 100% predictable, but it was kind of predictable. But I still think that the wrestling was great. The stories told by Ciampa and Gargano was fantastic. Seeing War Machine show up after the tag match was really good. Spoilers for anybody who didn't see all this yet. Hopefully you've seen it by now, or have at least watched Joe Cronin's review. But Kairi Sane obviously capturing the women's title. Ricochet getting the North American belt. These are things I kind of predicted already. I felt like it was going to be a night for Undisputed Era. It kind of was, because even though Adam Cole lost the North American title, this can move Adam Cole into the NXT Championship, where I want to see him compete for. And having the North American belt, it wasn't really needed for him. It was great for a start to put someone on to have that belt, but now we can move him on from it, get him to the NXT title picture, because I think that's where Adam Cole needs to be. Ricochet right now holding the North American belt, I'm fine with that. I think it's great. Ricochet is freaking awesome. How long is he going to be able to hold up with what he's doing? Because it kind of makes me think of Jeff Hardy a little bit with Ricochet, even though I think Ricochet's a little bit better. But how long is the body going to hold up? But for now, North American champ, I'm very happy with it. And yeah, possibly Adam Cole could be the next NXT champion. I absolutely agree with that. So, Velveteen Dream. Let's talk Velveteen Dream for a second. Rumors were circulating during the weekend that Velveteen Dream was going to get called up to the main roster. And I said to myself, I said this on Two Marks Crew this past Friday, if they called him up to the main roster, the WWE creative wouldn't know what to do with him. Absolutely not know what to do with him because of his character. They would probably make him into a Goldust 2.0. That's what they would do with Velveteen Dream. They see Goldust again. And I don't want to see that. WWE might come in and say, you're going to be the new Stardust. No, fuck that. Velveteen Dream is something really special. I think of when I see him, I see Rick Rude a little bit. You remember Ravishing Rick Rude back in the 80s and in the 90s? Dude, that guy was awesome. A great heel. And I see a lot of Rick Rude in Velveteen Dream. So it's really exciting to see where this guy can go. And he's only 23 years old. So he's got a tremendous upside for his future. But to make him up to the main roster right now would be stupid. Keep him in NXT. That's where he needs to be right now. Put him in the mix for the either for the North American title or for the NXT Championship. Get him into that mold. I love that on his tights it said, "Hey, call me up, Vince." Okay, so when I saw that, I laughed my ass off, saying, "Oh, they're playing into the rumor." That was great. Triple H even said, usually we would check these kind of things, and it kind of just slipped. But seeing that, the fans loved it, and Velveteen Dream looked awesome against EC3, and nothing against EC3. I love him, but I can't wait to see what EC3 is going to do because, again, here's a guy who could be NXT champion, or you just move him into the main roster. But I worry that if they move EC3 into the main roster soon, then he becomes like what Bobby Roode is right now, just like, completely forgotten. And I don't want that to happen. Think about it. Bobby Roode wasn't even on SummerSlam. Keep that in mind. Triple H says he has a friend named Vince. I'm sure. Yeah, I do miss the TNA EC3 song. I agree with you, Broken Hardy's GOAT. But both of these guys got tremendous upside with NXT. EC3, you don't have to hurry him up there, but don't make him into Bobby Roode. That's the thing I worry about. I don't know about you, Himmel, but I think it's going to be hard as hell for WWE to get fans on Charlotte's side. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Ciampa and Gargano, holy cow. These guys, again, told a story, but I mean, every match they've had has been a story. And we haven't seen that conclusion yet. The conclusion is eventually going to be that Ciampa is going to lose to Gargano. We know this. But Gargano's hurt right now, so we're going to be in the weight game a little bit. We do have some time for that weight game. And especially when you have Aleister Black in this situation, that maybe we get that triple threat that we wanted may happen at the next TakeOver or in a future episode of NXT where we're going to get the triple threat match. So the story is going to continue. And adding Aleister Black into the mix would be great because he has to get his rematch. And when you look at Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano, it's just, this thing's not going to end. They could take this thing into the main roster, but yet, take a break from the storyline from a little bit and then revisit it every once in a while. Kind of like what Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are doing. They revisit those moments once in a while and just rekindle a rivalry. So we're getting the main rivalry now. Then they come to main roster, take a break from it for a little while, then revisit, take a break, revisit it again. That's the way I see that kind of rivalry. Ricochet eventually will go on the main roster. The most important thing I look at for a lot of these guys that go there, keep them away from 205 Live. That means keep Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano away from 205 Live. They need to be on the main roster. That's the way I see it. If you put them on 205 Live, it's like burying them. We'll never see them. You have to go watch the WWE Network to watch a match. No, we're not. I don't want that to happen. So I remember seeing him on Tough Enough. It's cool to see him on NXT. Absolutely, I think it's great for what Velveteen Dream is doing. Seeing him on Tough Enough, this is Patrick from Tough Enough. If you guys go back and watch it, the last Tough Enough that we had, where you had Paige and Hulk Hogan running around as judges and shit like that, you had Patrick on there, and he evolved into Velveteen Dream. So holy shit, the way that they've booked him in NXT is fantastic. I just worry about when he comes to the main roster that they make him like a Goldust 2.0 or they bury him like they've buried Tyler Breeze. A guy like Tyler Breeze should be getting more of a push, and right now he's been buried down the fucking roster. Look at how he was in NXT. He even had great matches with Juice and Thunder Liger. I mean, come on. Tyler Breeze is a guy you shouldn't have buried down your roster doing Fashion Police, okay? He should be up in the mid-card right now, competing for an Intercontinental title, competing for the U.S. title, whatever show he's on. There should be more opportunity for him, and you would think that with Fandango hurt, they would bring him up more. They don't. They keep him buried down the damn roster. Give these people a chance, or else we're going to see these guys get future endeavored, sent on into in the indies, and then they're going to tear it up in the indies, and the WWE is going to say, geez, we made a mistake. Now we got to bring him back. You could have had him this whole time and move him up. Stop holding these guys back. Speaking of future people that might get those future endeavored, Rusev and Lana. I look at that match, Rusev and Lana, and Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega, which was a terrible match. I thought it was boring. It just didn't capture my attention. You know, you could see why it was on the pre-show. No one really cared, and it was just pathetic. It's like I was hoping that Aiden English was going to come down and ruin it. You know, try to save them and blow it and set up the feud between the two. Even though I think we'll still eventually get a feud between Rusev and Aiden English, but Rusev Day is over, man. I know a lot of fans want to chant out Rusev Day. I get it. They did it at a point during the pre-show where you're not going to have a lot of chants of Rusev Day. So you can see where the WWE is, because let's face it, when it comes to the superstars in WWE, you can't break rule number 1. Thou shalt not be more over than Roman Reigns. Okay? The tag team titles, obviously B Team, I expected them to retain. They did. The Revival's going to get their time. They're feuding with B Team right now. We know their time is coming, and I expect it as early as Hell in a Cell that the Revival will get the tag belts, because it's just meant for them. They didn't need it on a pre-show at SummerSlam. We could push it into the main card of Hell in a Cell, have them win there, because it would be more meaningful, more impactful for the Revival, because we want top guys back. We want the old Revival and that we saw and loved in NXT. And if we can get that, I think that would be pretty badass. The Cruiserweight title I thought was pretty good. I think it was the best match that we saw of the 3. Drew Gulak, of course, he didn't win it. I was hoping he would, and we'd get a new champion. Instead, Cedric Alexander retains. But did anybody notice this during the pre-show, that all 3 victories in this were quick roll-ups? Quick roll-up, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Every single match. Quick roll-up, it was over. Same finish. And I sat there and I said to myself, and I was on Two Marks Crew and I said this, I was like, did you notice that all the finishes were the same? Quick roll-up? What the hell? That was bullshit. I was very disappointed in that. Baron Fruit roll-up. But yeah, they did the quick roll-ups. I was very disappointed. The pre-show overall was kind of a downer. It was something that didn't really need to be watched at all. You're not missing anything. If any of you guys have not seen SummerSlam yet and you want to go back and watch it, skip the pre-show. It was sucked. It was terrible. You're not missing anything from that. Going into the main card, you know, seeing Seth Rollins come out like Thanos, I thought was pretty cool, and it was kind of a precursor to what would happen at the end of the match. No Infinity Gauntlet needed to beat freaking fucking Dolph Ziggler. Okay, Drew McIntyre, of course, in the match, but Dolph Ziggler loses. And I was like, wait a minute, where the fuck are they going? What are they doing? Why didn't Ziggler retain? Why couldn't we have had the double turn? I was hoping for the double turn, that we could have Drew McIntyre turn face and then feud with Ziggler for the Intercontinental title, and then Seth Rollins can feud with Dean Ambrose and eventually lead into a picture for the Universal title. But instead, you know, we get Seth Rollins getting the belt and still no heel turn from Dean Ambrose, even though I have a feeling it will show up over time. Of course, not now, because the Shield is reformed, but we'll get into that in a minute. But hopefully we find something for Seth Rollins to do instead of being the Shield all the time. I want just regular Seth Rollins on his own. But I'm disappointed there. Maybe Seth Rollins feuds with Drew McIntyre for a while to get the Intercontinental belt. That's something they can do right there, and really push Drew McIntyre out on his own, because he really doesn't need Dolph Ziggler. Okay, Drew McIntyre can be on his own and still be successful, and if they book him right. But right now he's still stuck with Dolph, and it's like, what the fuck? Get away from him. Move on. Dolph Ziggler is like, he doesn't even need him either. So yeah, fuck the Shield, says Broken Hardy's coat. Rollins holds the IC belt hostage now. It's not Rollins with the IC belt. It's not going to be like how Dean Ambrose was with the US belt, when he held it for what, about a year and didn't really defend the belt at all. It's not going to be that way. So I can guarantee you, it's not going to happen like that. So, Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. I'm glad that this is over. But we got the demon. We got the freaking demon. It's like they finally gave us something we wanted. As fans, we wanted the demon. And you did it in Brooklyn when the fans were going to mark out for the demon. We get to see him again. make quick work of Baron Corbin, get that over with. So I was very happy with the outcome. I picked Finn Balor to win this, and it was no surprise there. Demon was coming out. You knew what was going to happen. Finn Balor was winning. And I even knew it right before this thing even started that they were going to go with that. Not with the Demon. I didn't think the Demon was going to come out, but that Finn Balor was going to win. So very happy. Move these guys on. Finn Balor moving on. He did eventually get a Universal Championship match on Monday Night Raw against Roman Reigns. And then you saw how the outcome went out with you had Braun Strowman out there at ringside with the Money in the Bank, and then of course we get the Shield, and you knew where they were going. The tag team titles for SmackDown, we saw in the pay-per-view the Bludgeon Brothers get disqualified. Since when did the Bludgeon Brothers need to have a disqualification and get so frustrated with the damn New Day? Okay, does the New Day, by the way, really need the tag belts? No, they don't. But now we get Big E gonna come out there. Oh, whatever city I'm in, don't you dare be sour. Clap your hands for the five-time tag team champs, and feel the power of me not getting a singles push. It's the New Day. Yes, it is. You know, that's where we're heading. Big E needs to be on his own. Big E needs a push. Big E needs to be away from throwing pancakes and doing bootios and shit like that. Big E is the guy that I look at in terms of the New Day that has so much potential to be better, but instead is locked into this faction, dancing around and gyrating and doing pancakes and bootios and selling t-shirts and doing stuff that DX did back in the day. Hey, go to WWEshop.com. No one wants that stuff. The New Day is played out. It's time to move on. It's time for Big E to move on to bigger and better things as a singles competitor. New Day, I love you, but come on. It's run its course. It's over. Move on. That's the way I see with the New Day. They don't need the belts. You had a chance. Hell, I would have took Cesaro and Sheamus as champion again. What happened to sanity? What happened? Why are we in the position that we're in now? I just don't get it. I really don't. Shinsuke, and by the way, they won win the tag belts. They won it on SmackDown. So there you go. Hopefully they can find a way to push sanity. I really would. What's up, Will 10? I'd love them to push sanity, but who knows if we're going to get that. Look at the Authors of Pain getting buried the way they are right now. Sanity's getting buried the way they are. It's like, hey guys, welcome to Ascensionville. That's where you're at. Shinsuke Nakamura and Jeff Hardy, no surprise there that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to retain. And we had a Randy Orton sighting. No surprise on that one. Didn't really catch me at all. But the one match that really got me, I'm going to get on this, is that triple threat match. The triple threat match for the Women's Championship, Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. I picked Charlotte Flair to win, obvious, because I felt like when it was Becky and Carmella, that Becky was going to get the belt. But once all of a sudden that Charlotte was added in, Becky was like thrown away. We knew that at this point, Charlotte's going to go take the belt to lead into Evolution. And I called the heel turn. No surprise, we got her heel turn. And the way they did it was fantastic. I love the way they set up Becky Lynch for a heel turn, carries into SmackDown, and with Evolution coming up in October, we can get that Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the belt there at Evolution. They don't have to really do any, although at the Hell in a Cell, we're probably going to see these two lock up. But then I think at Evolution, I think it would be better to see Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, because it's really going to add a lot of intrigue to the matchup. They don't need to pin, but a lot of people are sick of Charlotte as champion right now. And I'll be honest, I'm one of them. I didn't want to see the belt on Charlotte right now. For a long time, we've seen the belt on Charlotte. She's been champion. She's represented well. But was it really needed at this point? No. Why does Charlotte need the belt now? Because of Evolution. That's what they're doing. Maybe they felt that if Becky was champion going in Evolution, that they wouldn't get the buy rate that they want, that they wouldn't get as many subscriptions as they want. Remember Dave Meltzer saying, well, you don't want to go into Evolution with both Carmella and Alexa Bliss as champion. Obviously, we're not going to have that. We get Ronda Rousey and Charlotte coming in as champion. We're not going to get a 4 horsewomen kind of thing at Evolution because of the fact that right now Becky's heel while the other 3 are faces. So you're not going to have that. And although there's the potential still there for Bayley and Sasha the feud, that's still there too. So, but Becky as a heel, I think, is fantastic. It's something that we needed right now. SmackDown needs quality heels. So having Becky as a heel makes sense. Charlotte, obviously, because she's a Flair. But Charlotte, in the position she's in, although I kind of like Charlotte as a heel, why didn't we have her as a heel? We could have kept Becky Lynch as a face. But this is the fire that we can have for Becky so that she can get the belt back. The fans, even though that she's a heel, are behind her. They're behind her. Now, granted, it was the Brooklyn crowd, so we have to see how the other crowds react to Becky. But I think that a lot of people are going to react in a way that she's going to be the cool heel and eventually regain that belt. But it's smart to have her as a heel, a quality heel, a heel that is needed on SmackDown because, let's face it, Carmella is not that heel. I'd rather see her get future endeavored, okay, and sent on packing. And I said this on Two Marks Crew, and during the reaction show, I said, are you surprised out of the tag team of Enzo Amore and Big Cass that Carmella is the only one standing? Does that shock you at all? That the female that no one really cared about is the last one standing, and she had a belt before any others? Think of that. Well, actually, no. I think Enzo Amore had a belt before she did, but still, keep that in mind. Ugh. And yes, where was Asuka? Why wasn't Asuka there? Because she seems to be getting buried right now. So, yeah, Will 10 asked me if I watched any gaming YouTubers. I have. I'll talk about that in a minute, Will. Or maybe I'll talk about that later on tonight on Twitch. But, yeah, Becky Lynch as a heel makes sense. Braun Strowman, obviously, squash match over Kevin Owens. It was so quick, but we'll get into more about Braun Strowman still being Mr. Money in the Bank. I thought Kevin Owens would have won it because it seemed to fit in the realm where Kevin Owens could be champion. Didn't happen, but okay, whatever. The same could be said about Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss. I thought Alexa was going to carry this belt into Evolution, which I thought made more sense because they could have had Ronda Rousey win by DQ, headed into Evolution where she could capture the belt, which would have made more sense to me. Why not do it there? Because right now you have Evolution where you might not even have a title change for either belt. You might not have a title change. Maybe one. Maybe the SmackDown title changes and goes to Becky Lynch. Possibility there. But who's going to beat Ronda Rousey the way she has been built? What's up, Coop? The way that Ronda Rousey's been built right now, who's going to beat Ronda Rousey? Who? Who's going to beat Ronda Rousey? Look at the way she's built right now. The way she's been built up in character. Who's going to beat her? Nia Jax? Nope. Sasha? Nope. Bayley? Nope. Alexa? No, she's going to get her rematch. Right? But it's not going to matter. There's nobody on that roster right now. Maybe Ember Moon might give her a run for the money. But no one's there that's going to beat her. Ruby Riott? Nope. Liv Morgan? Hell no. Sarah Logan? Maybe she might give her a run. But nothing. Ronda Rousey's your champion right now. And so unless you get Roman Reigns to get a transplant to a fucking female, there's no way you're taking that belt off Ronda Rousey anytime soon. Good luck building your storylines. Ramona Reigns. That's about it. Ramona Reigns is going to have to show up to go ahead and get it done. I joked with it on Twitter. TSS brought it up. You know, who's going to be the next women's champion? And I just put a picture of Roman Reigns on there because there's your next women's champion, Roman Reigns. Woman Reigns, says Cooper. Oh, my God. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. No surprise there. The Miz was going to win. I know the sentimental favorite for me was Daniel Bryan, but it made sense for The Miz to win this to keep this feud going because I felt if Daniel Bryan won, the feud was over. It was over. It just would end. What was the point of moving forward? 8 years of frustration. Ended. Done. You don't need to move on anymore. So I felt The Miz winning made sense. The bad part is now that I think at Hell in a Cell, we're going to get a mixed tag match. So all of a sudden we got Brie Mode. No thank you. Last thing I need to have is that auto-tune music with fucking Brie Bella coming out. Yeah, she got a cheap shot in on The Miz on SmackDown, but I'm like, no. The last thing I need is Daniel Bryan and The Miz and two divas now in the match. Boring. I don't want to see it. I'd rather see Daniel Bryan and The Miz go at it again, but we're going to have to wait for a while before we eventually see that. So maybe this tag match, we get that 50-50 booking kind of thing where Daniel Bryan now is going to get his win back and hold on to it there. Divas, it's women's. No, Brie Bella is a diva. Okay? Brie Bella is a diva. Carmella is a diva. They're not women wrestlers. Those are divas. They're part of that diva part before we got to women's wrestlers. But don't sit there and put the Bellas in the same type of tier with Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley, and Ember Moon. No way. Those are divas. The others that I mentioned, the other 5 I mentioned, those are women's wrestlers. That's the difference. Okay? Look at the body of work for these women when they're in the ring. You could tell who's a women's wrestler and who's still a diva. The Bellas are divas. Maurice, diva. It's just how it is. They're not women's wrestlers. Sorry, I'm bringing that up. I'm bringing my inner JP out. That's who's a women's wrestler and who's a diva. You can separate the difference between the two. It's night and day difference. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe brought it. He brought it in a way I wanted him to bring it. AJ's family out there at ringside made sense. The way he taunted AJ was fantastic. We didn't get a solid ending. Fine, I'm okay with that. Getting a double count out. I'm fine with that. AJ Styles retains the belt, but it builds between these two, and we could have a Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell with AJ and Samoa Joe, right? That would make sense to keep the story moving. They could tease the fact that Samoa Joe could win the belt. Even though I don't know if Samoa Joe is going to be the guy to take the belt from AJ right now. I feel like Randy Orton's going to be that guy because he says, I'm going to take out the people you love. Jeff Hardy being one of them, AJ Styles being the other, and can become the champion. It just seems to make sense. So Samoa Joe's just kind of wasting that time until we get to Randy Orton doing what he needs to do. But I think Samoa is the guy. Hell yeah, dude. I love Samoa Joe. And he's going to get that belt one day. It's just right now, I just don't feel like it's going to be it. Randy's going to be the one that, yeah, he's going to screw over AJ in some way. But I think Randy Orton wants to be the guy who takes the belt. That's the key. So he could get that DQ in a match so we don't get that outcome maybe. And then Orton finds a way to get himself involved to compete for the championship. I see that happening. So let's get to Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Because the WWE, they pulled a fast one on the fans. They duped them. They duped the fans because Vince McMahon knew what was going to happen. The fans were going to get up and leave. They were going to get up and walk out of the arena. Like we saw at Backlash that they did that. Yeah, does Randy need another belt? No, but I feel like they're going to give him one more title reign before he retires. I think that's what's going to happen. Get him that one, and then at WrestleMania, get him out of there. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen with Randy Orton. But what we're seeing Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and they knew what was going to happen. The fans were going to hijack the show. They were going to walk out the arena. They did hijack the show a little bit, but not enough because Vince McMahon knew if I'm going to keep people in the seats, I'm going to put Braun Strowman out there. So he did. He got Braun Strowman out there with Money in the Bank to keep the fans in the seats, to make sure that they don't leave, to make sure they don't hijack, to make them think that there's going to be a cash in and we don't get it. And how they made Braun look so weak during that match to get his ass whooped when earlier in the night he beat Kevin Owens in less than 5 fucking minutes. But yet during that match, they made him look pathetic. Add on the fact on Monday Night Raw, they made it worse when during the match with Roman Reigns and Finn Balor, that once again, Braun Strowman's going to come out and cash in the Money in the Bank. I was about to say points in the bank, but some monetize this. But he was going to cash in the Money in the Bank, and then all of a sudden we hear the reformation of the Shield. And from what I'm hearing from WWE is that they're going to want to keep the Shield together for a while, to screw over Braun Strowman for a while, to keep him away from the Universal title until at some point he's going to cash in and get it. So they're going to tease this for a while. The reformation of the Shield, if you really think about this, the reformation of the Shield was done for one reason. It's for the fans to cheer Roman by association with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. That's why we're not getting our Dean Ambrose heel turn yet. Because they're going to keep the Shield together. Because if the Shield's out there and Roman Reigns is with them, they're going to be cheering Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. That means Roman Reigns gets cheered by association. That's it. The fans don't like Roman. Add on the fact that Roman Reigns, if you really think about this, years ago, but when the Shield first came around, Roman Reigns wasn't actually going to be in the Shield. Believe it or not, Roman Reigns is like powerhouse number 6. Okay? The guy they originally had planned was Cassius Ohno. Cassius Ohno was supposed to be where Roman Reigns is. Okay? That's the difference. He was supposed to be the powerhouse of the Shield. Instead, WWE and Vince McMahon says, no. We're not doing this. We're going to have this guy, this Samoan Roman Reigns, come out here and do it because he's a future WWE champion. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. And then when they break him off and go away, you had Seth Rollins doing his thing. Dean Ambrose did his thing. They felt separate from the Shield, but yet Roman Reigns was still the Shield. Still had the vest and the same music. And for a time, he was coming down the stairs. It was still the Shield. It made no sense. And they kept running it like no one cared. Yeah, Punk wanted, he wanted it. Punk wanted Chris Hero, a.k.a. Cassius Ohno, but Vince wanted Roman Reigns. That's how it was. And because it just showed how replaceable Roman Reigns was for the Shield. It could have been anybody to go ahead and step into that role. But instead, they wanted Roman because they said that's their champion. That's your new Cena. We all compare him to him, even though it's nowhere near the charisma of Cena, the style of Cena. Roman Reigns in the ring is a monotonous bore, okay? A lot of people say Roman Reigns is great in the ring. I don't see it. He's booked to the freaking moon, all right? Let's face facts. You know who's going to break Ric Flair's championship reign record? It's Roman Reigns. He's going to be the one to do it. How many title reigns does he have now? Think about it. What's this, his 4th or 5th title reign by now that Roman has? He's going to be the guy to go break it. Who's going to be the guy that eventually is going to go over Brock Lesnar's total days record for champion? It's going to be Roman Reigns. That's what they want. They want Roman Reigns to break all the records. I thought John Cena was going to be that guy. I still think John Cena has one more title reign in him. But right now, WWE is saying, no. Roman's going to be that guy. That's what they want. But the fans don't want it. Unless you're a child that's under 12 or you're a horny housewife. That's it. They're the only ones that cheer for Roman. Everybody else hates him. And a lot of people want to judge why a guy gets pushed due to merchandise sales and ratings. merchandise sales doesn't mean shit. Okay? Roman might sell a ton of merchandise, but that doesn't mean that he gets a push. If we're going to base it on merchandise sales, then John Cena and Nikki Bella would be holding the belts forever. There you go. Bottom line. They would be holding the belts forever because they're the ones that get all the sales. John Cena's the one that does all the Make-A-Wish stuff. Okay, Nikki Bella does the same thing, and plus she's got Total Bellas over on E, and Total Divas, and all this other bullshit, and how much of a star she is, so they'll just go ahead and keep a women's belt on her. Right? Let's just do it that way. They should be the champions and the face of the company. But instead, here comes Roman Reigns. The fans hate it. They booked him in a way that is not logically plausible for anyone in the WWE, and sadly, we're seeing Ronda Rousey kind of being put into that position too, all right? Because if you look at Ronda Rousey, who is she beating before she got the belt? Before she beat Alexa, she beat Stephanie McMahon in a mixed tag match and beat Alicia Fox. That's it. Next thing you know, she's champion, which makes logically zero sense. None. Now you add Alexa Bliss to that record. All right, so let's see. You beat basically the equivalent of two divas and one of the owners of the company. Congratulations. Ronda Rousey's your champion. If that's the case, let's go have R-Truth go out there, do the same thing, and then he could be women's champion. Right? Let's have Roman Reigns put on a wig, go out there and beat Ronda Rousey. He doesn't need to beat anybody. He's Roman Reigns. And we'll add it as a world title reign, right? Roman Reigns probably carry every belt in the damn company. You can tell how pissed off I am about Roman Reigns. I can pretty much rant forever about this. He's not the guy. He may have the look. He may have the style. But the guy can't cut a promo to save his damn life. His in-ring skills are not that great. All right? And he doesn't have the command of the fans. You might have the fans that A, don't spend a lot of money, and B, dream about you every night. But that's not it. He's not the guy. There are other people that you can bring up to be that guy. Daniel Bryan is that guy. Yes, he's small, but he's still that guy. He organically gets over with the fans. Makes sense. Just like CM Punk did the same thing. Okay? You look at the main roster right now, and you could think of a bunch of guys that you could put in the position that Roman Reigns is right now. Samoa Joe can be that guy. Bobby Roode can be that guy. Eventually, when Aleister Black comes up, he's going to be one of those guys. There's a chance that Velveteen Dream could eventually be one of those guys. Finn Balor should be that guy right now. There are so many people that can fit into position of where Roman Reigns is right now and would be a better champion than he is. But nope. Bobby Lashley. Thank you. Another one. Hey, remember at Extreme Rules? Bobby Lashley beat Roman Reigns. Clean, by the way. But let's face it, WWE doesn't want you to remember that because the very next night he got screwed. Right? Yeah, I should be in a championship match. Nope, Roman Reigns found a way to weasel his way in that the week after he would beat Bobby Lashley and make you forget that Extreme Rules even took place. Remember Extreme Rules? Bobby Lashley won. But does it matter now? Nope. You think Bobby Lashley's going to get his shot with Roman Reigns with the belt? You would think so, but they're not going to push that anytime soon. They want you to forget Extreme Rules even happened. It's bullshit. But this is what we're going to live with. Roman Reigns is champion right now. He's got the shield around him to get him over. That's what's going to happen. But the only reason that he's going to be cheered is by association. Because once Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins split away, what do you think happens? He's going to get booed again. Cheered by association, booed when he's on his own. That's it. I don't want to see Roman with Brock again. No one does. But we need Braun Strowman as our man to take that belt away. And WWE needs to build that up. The sad part is they're going to make Braun Strowman a heel. We know this is going to happen, you know, but hopefully they can change that down the road. I know you guys have been chanting out in the chat. I've been trying to pay attention as much as I have. The ratings are down for WWE in the worst possible way. Think about what Fox right now is going to get SmackDown Live, and the ratings are as bad as they are. How long before Fox pulls the plug on SmackDown Live? How long is it going to be? Couple years? Maybe a year? If the ratings are that low and they're not bringing people in for that time slot, Fox is going to pull the plug. Maybe they'll say, you know what? We'll just put it on FS1 instead of network TV or wherever they're going to put it. They're gonna pull it. Take the dream away. There you go. They're going to pull themselves away from it because the ratings are bad. Monday Night Raw ratings are bad. If the ratings are tanking that bad, I don't care how much money WWE is making. Joe said the same thing. Your ratings are shit. Even if you're making money. Maybe Saudi Arabia is giving you a ton of money, right? Australia must be giving you a ton of money to have special events over there. Or Japan or anyone else is giving you that money. But if the ratings are bad, and you're in the twos, and you're tanking lower and lower, and you're going to tank lower and lower as long as Roman Reigns is holding that belt, you can bring back the Shield all you want. It ain't going to matter. Fans, we're not stupid. The smart fans are seeing through the bullshit right now. They're seeing through the bullshit of why you put the Shield together to get Roman cheers, cheap pops, everywhere he goes, by association. Braun Strowman's going to be made to look like a heel. We're just going to piss the fans off. We want Strowman as a face to take the belt away. But Vince doesn't want face versus face. Not going to happen. It's bullshit. When are they going to get TNA numbers? I'm telling you. It's coming around right now because the ratings are as bad as they are. And I see the ratings every week plummeting. And they're going to keep plummeting as long as Roman's got that belt. SmackDown's not doing any better right now. And you would think they would be, but they're not. There's not enough NXT talent that you can bring up to fix that when the casual fans in the audience don't know anything about them because they're not watching the WWE network. They have no idea about NXT. That's like if you brought up Velveteen Dream, people will be like, who is this guy? They don't know him. Casual fans know nothing about him. It's going to get fucked. Literally. Literally to the bottom of the fucking roster. That's how bad it is. When's Crazy Steve coming? Oh my God, man. Yeah, where is Crazy Steve? I remember him back in TNA. Holy cow, Goop. But anyway, I'm going to jump off the whole wrestling bit. I'm pretty sure we'll talk more about this tomorrow night on Two Mark's Crew. This is something that's going to go on for weeks to come. Joe Cronin, they're going to be talking about it. Jake's going to talk about it. I'm pretty sure Ken might get into it every once in a while on this type of yeah, I did see that he signed with NXT. I don't know where he's at. Crazy Steve. But they don't promote NXT on commercials within Raw and Smackdown shows. I agree, they don't, and that's a problem. That's a big problem. Why aren't they promoting NXT? And this is where all your talent's coming from. So that when they come to the main roster, fans will be like, oh, I know who that person is. Instead of being like, I don't know who this is. Who's this Velveteen Dream? Oh, he's kind of bizarre. He's like Goldust. Yeah, Goldust 2.0. No, I don't want that. Fans, if you're a casual fan, watch the fucking product. Watch NXT. I love NXT every week. I didn't get a chance to watch this last one. I need to go watch it this week. That's why I haven't talked much about NXT this week. So I still need to watch this week's episode. So eventually I'll get around to it, especially probably before tomorrow night for Two Mark's Crew. But anyway, I want to get into one last topic for today before we close out the show. I mentioned earlier this week, on Monday, I went to Universal Studios. A lot of you guys don't know this. I am an annual pass holder for Universal Studios, which I'm pretty sure got my annual pass laying around somewhere, you know, right? Let's see. You'd think I had to clean out my drawers today. The annual pass is somewhere. Here it is. Haha, I found it. Just so I show proof. There you go. Universal Orlando annual pass. I'm a Premier Pass holder, which gets me access to all the parks, except Volcano Bay right now, but I might set that up where I might have Volcano Bay, which is the water park they just opened. But I usually go monthly, and I've been away a lot, so I haven't been able to go as much as I should. I think the last time I went was during spring break, and now I got a chance to go this past summer. Halloween Horror Nights is coming up. There's a chance I might be at Halloween Horror Nights this year. Small possibility, but hopefully I'm there. I've been to a past few Halloween Horror Nights, and I want to go this year because they're going to have Stranger Things at Halloween Horror Nights, so I want to be there for it. But they did open a new attraction this past May. You might have heard of this attraction back before, called Fast and Furious Supercharged. This is a brand new attraction. They just opened up. It's in the area that used to be an older attraction that was known as Earthquake, and then became known as Disaster, and now it's Fast and Furious. It's also taken over a section that used to have Beetlejuice's Graveyard Review, and they tore that down. And Beetlejuice's show was supposed to probably move to where the Fear Factor show was. They had a stage show where Fear Factor was, and on Halloween Horror Nights they had it as Bill and Ted, which was really awesome, but they shut down that show in favor of what was supposed to be built by now, which was called Ministry of Magic, which is going to be part of Harry Potter, because the Harry Potter land Diagon Alley is right next to it. So it makes sense to kind of keep the Harry Potter theme going for that stage show. But they haven't had that take place yet, so they're still waiting on it. But anyway, getting back to Fast and Furious, those of you guys who might live in California know, as part of the Backlot Tour, they have Fast and Furious Supercharged as part of the Backlot Tour. So while you're on the tram, running around doing the backlot stuff, one of the final stops that you make is based on Fast and the Furious. So in Florida, we don't have a backlot tour. So these attractions are made as standalone attractions. So they made Fast and Furious Supercharged. And what it is you're on a party bus and you go out into the city to avoid Owen Shaw. So they kind of go back to the movie when you had Owen Shaw in the movie. This was not the character that was played by Jason Statham, so this is the one from before that. So it's the brother. And you basically in that kind of mission. The Rock is in this. Vin Diesel's there. Pretty much most of the characters from the movie, from the Fast and Furious movie, are there. Of course, not Paul Walker, obviously, because he passed away. But one of the main parts of the attraction, obviously, is the cars. They have a lot of cars to show off. They're basically like props from the movie, but they're the actual cars, and they look really freaking awesome. It's really one of the big things they have in this attraction. It looks really cool, and everyone's really into that part. But the ride has nothing to do with any of the fucking cars. They have big trucks and helicopters and all this other bullshit, and you go through this big chase out in the streets of Los Angeles, and you react to what goes on in certain situations, and everything's on a big old screen. They have a good sense of speed, but the problem is you need to be basically on ADHD to probably really enjoy this ride, because everything happens all around you. So you're looking side to side, side to side, really fast to catch everything. And most of the time you're going to miss a lot of that shit. Alpha Excalibur, you just brought it up because I'm getting to that point. It lasts just a few minutes. They talk about this whole family forever thing. You're supposed to be going to a party, but yet somehow they're saying, wait, but you're family now. It's like, what? How am I family if I'm just going to a fucking party? That doesn't make sense. So it's just really weird. But anyway, they take you into, they show you all the cars in the beginning, and you're like in a garage and stuff. Then you go into some doors where you meet this one person, a real person, by the way, real actor that they use in there, to go over some lines, introduce you to the ride and everything. And then they talk to, Jordana Brewster, who's one of the actors from the movie. They talk with her like you're talking like on a phone kind of thing, like on a FaceTime app kind of deal. And it's funny when people are in there, they're like, hey, what's up, everybody? And everyone's like, hey. You can tell they're just not really excited, because nothing has really excited us other than the cars. And we come in and we're like, yeah, what's up, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And this whole time Jordana Brewster keeps talking about family, family. And you hear this chick who's sitting here in front of a magazine going, family, family, family. It's like, shut up, bitch. They move us into what they call the war room, which is like Tej's war room. And you got some other guy just sitting there, and Tej's like, don't touch my stuff, man, you know, that kind of thing. Kind of bringing the whole family thing again. Then we see The Rock. Then we see Vin Diesel. We see all these characters going, okay, Owen Shaw's in the area, you know. And then eventually they move you into the party buses, and that's where the whole ride takes place. It sucked. The whole attraction sucked. The only thing that was good was the cars. The cars were the best part. It's funny that when you're in the park, and the only thing is when you go into the attraction for the first time, and then when you come out, they got the cars, and more people are into the cars than they are of the attraction, the ride itself, which is pathetic and boring. And as I said, you gotta be on ADHD to go sit and enjoy it. It's bad. And it's funny because in this park, you would think rides like this, they have virtual line and all this stuff set up because they're expecting big crowds and all this stuff, big lines that would, you know, last hours. Guess how long it took me to get on the ride? Less than 5 minutes. No fast passes, no virtual lines, nothing. Standby, 5 minutes. I shit you not. That's not good for anything at Universal Studios. Even on an off day, that should still be a 20 to 30 plus minute wait if the ride is good. The sad part is you have a sort of ride that's kind of similar to it called Kong. All right? Reign of Kong, Skull Island Reign of Kong, which is over at Islands of Adventure, and it's fantastic. I love that one. Okay? You don't need to be on ADHD to enjoy a whole bunch of screens and you actually going on the screens, and it's in 3D. And you get wet and all this other stuff. But then you got the big, huge animatronic of Kong right at the end, which is really awesome. That puts you face to face with freaking Kong himself. That's cool. Fast and Furious has nothing like that. Where's the cars? No cars. It's like a bunch of war vehicles, the whole ride. And then here when Vin Diesel say, ride or die. Who cares? It's nothing special. Add on to the fact that the ride is less than 10 minutes. When other attractions are outdrawing you. Okay? The Mummy that's been there for what? For over 10 years is still drawing bigger lines than Fast and the Furious. The Mummy. And I love the Mummy. I love that roller coaster. It's fantastic. All right? It's a great attraction. All right? When Shrek 4D is outdrawing Fast and the Furious, there's a problem because Shrek 4D sucks. That thing is terrible. Sitting in a like a movie theater, watching a movie while the seats move around going, it's terrible. It completely takes you out of the experience. Right? When you got Skull Island Reign of Kong that's been open now for probably, what, a couple of years? And it's still drawing 80-minute waits. 80 minutes. Yet Fast and the Furious is less than 10. There's a problem. When Men in Black, that's been there practically forever, and it's waiting for a new attraction to eventually be put in, because I feel like that thing, they're letting it go, because you can tell how old it feels. Okay, and they're drawing longer lines than Fast and the Furious, there's a problem. And they just opened this in May, hoping for big crowds to bring people to that section of the park to get excited. And there's nothing exciting. Nothing. Other than cars. And I love the cars. But the rest of the attraction is boring and fuck. Universal's got an issue. We're still waiting for other attractions to eventually open. Jimmy Fallon did a great job. The Jimmy Fallon attraction that they have in there that replaced Twister is doing well. That one's doing well. But Fast and the Furious, it just doesn't feel exciting. It's boring. It's all screens. It's nothing really that entertaining. Now, granted, Universal's, most of their attractions they've been bringing in have mostly been using screens and not animatronics. When you look at Disney, and they're using freaking animatronics. We got a problem, guys. If you're going to rely so much on screens, this is not going to work. Now, eventually, we're having a new Harry Potter attraction open up next year that's replacing what used to be the Dueling Dragons or Dragon Challenge. They're now going to have a Harry Potter themed coaster, which, based on the concepts that people have seen right now, looks really good. it looks really good. If there's a good payoff for it, fans are going to love it. There's no loop-de-loops or anything in this thing. There's a good section of the track that's going to go backwards. You're going to get that. There's a drop in it. You're going to get that point where you're going to come up like this and then come right back down. There's all sorts of elements to the ride that looks very interesting as you're going through a forest. And it looks really cool in concept. So they're building it. So you're saying Harry Potter is greater than Fast and Furious? In terms of rides at Universal Studios, yes. Absolutely, without a shadow of a fucking doubt. They're doing it better. They're doing things right with that franchise. But think about things that are coming to Universal. There's a Super Nintendo Land that's going to be coming to Universal within the next few years. And it's sad. Most of it's going to be on screens, which makes a lot of sense. But give us some animatronics and stuff like that. Is there a 420 friendly ride? No. Not really. Unless you can toke up on the Hulk or something. Chances are probably not, because they'll probably catch you on the Doctor Doom one. So maybe Dudley Do Right, but you'll probably lose it pretty quick. Will Super Nintendo Chalmers be there? I have no idea. Wait a minute, Super Nintendo Land, bro, that's not time to fuck. It is. It's for real. This is for real. They are building Super Nintendo Land. They haven't started it in Florida, but they have started it, I think, in Japan right now. Was it Japan or is it Singapore? I think it's Singapore or something like that. They've started on it already. And I think in California, it's supposed to be starting very soon. In Orlando, they might start after Halloween Horror Nights. And get it underway where the kids zone used to be, and they're going to rip it out, except for E.T. because I think E.T. is going to end up staying because there's kind of a deal with Steven Spielberg and the Universal Parks because it's the last E.T. ride that's left. So if it's gone, it's all gone. Terminator disappeared not too long ago and is supposed to be replaced with either a James Bond or a Jason Bourne experience that's going to be in there. So there's a lot of changes that are taking place, and every year they're opening up a new attraction. And so far, most of the attractions that they've opened have been very good, but Fast and Furious, not good at all. The reviews are very mixed. You got a lot of people giving rave reviews to this, and I'm just looking at it going, were you riding the same ride I was? Because clearly you haven't. So I can tell when someone's full of shit just so they can get a bunch of invites to go over there and go check out, be in the soft openings or grand openings, to be able to film their camera on YouTube and whatever, and they're going to say, oh, this ride was great, compared to a person like myself who's going to be real with you and tell you, dude, this ride sucks. Add on to the fact, as I close things out here, you got people who are casted to play roles in this show. Also people who are casted to be the people that greet you on a ride. So when you go to the attraction, you get someone to say, hey, welcome to the party. And you got this young person welcoming you to the party. Oh yeah, that's cool, whatever, great idea. But when you have someone who is 50 plus years old, wearing a fedora, like an old Tommy, going in front of you saying, welcome to the party, I'm going to sit there and like, huh? These people, this 50 plus year old guy dressed like a 20-year-old telling you, welcome to the party. Buddy, if you are a guy that's doing a party, the first thing I think about when I would look at you is you would be that guy in a white van with a sign that says free candy. There's no way I'm believing that you are a guy that's going to a party hosted by Vin Diesel. Fuck that shit. Universal, cast your shit right. Put that guy behind the fucking scenes. Or put a white van out that says free candy on it, and he could sit in front and give everybody candy. That's how I see it. I'm wrapping this show up. We got some South Park coming up tonight. Guys, I want to thank everyone who's been here today, hanging out here. I am Himmelgod. I have spoken. Episode 18 in the books. Episode 19, we don't know what's going to happen yet as I get ready to shift from my home to a new location. Thank you, Coop. We're going to be in Iowa, and TS says, Welcome to the party. Let's take a look at those footages, baby. Oh my God. Great. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you're hitting the like button on the way out here, folks. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. Okay. Click the like button. Let's get number 10 on the likes. I see 9. Let's get number 10. Come on, man. Let's hit it. Let's make it happen. Double digit likes tonight. I know. I'm just whoring it out, right? So we're getting ready for South Park tonight. Episode 19 is up in the air right now. I don't know when we're going to be able to air it. Hey, there we go. We hit 11. Thank you, guys. I don't know when we're going to air that one yet. We'll figure out what the schedule is going to be next week. I might have a day off here or there during that next week where we'll be able to air an episode because I know the internet is good there. So check on me on Twitter when we're going to air it. It might not be on a Thursday. Maybe it's on a Wednesday. Maybe it's on a Friday before Two Mark Crew. We'll try and get an episode in. So we'll work on that. But there is a possibility that we might not have any episodes for at least a month. So I'm warning you guys ahead of time. I might be taking a month hiatus here because of work. It needs to be my main focus. 7 days a week, I got to do this job. So after that, when I go to Green Bay, now it turns into a 6-12, so I got that extra day, and we'll have the show back on and running. And we'll have a lot of game reviews and impressions of some of the new stuff I've been playing, like Red Dead and Black Ops 4 and all that stuff. I'll be running that. Hopefully we'll be able to record some gameplay footage by next week. So hopefully we'll have some gameplay footages. There we go, right? Footages. We'll have that in the next week or so, especially with South Park, Tales from the Borderlands. I got that coming up, and a few other games. So make sure you guys are checking out here on YouTube. Also check out the Twitch channel. Obviously, we're going to be on a Twitch break for a bit, but then we'll be back. So I loved everything you guys who've been dropping bits on Twitch. Greatly appreciate it. Everyone who's been showing some love over there, greatly appreciate it. Everyone who's been enjoying the footages, thank you. It's been a blast for me to do that, and we're going to continue that tonight. So make sure you guys are following. Make sure you guys are on Twitch and following. Make sure you guys are following on the Twitter. Those of you guys who are over here, when I say the Twitter, it almost makes me sound like I'm saying in the toilet. But make sure you guys are checking that out. Check out Twitch. Check out Twitter. Everything's in the description below. Make sure you guys, do the things that you guys do. Hit the subscribe. Hit the follow. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. I have spoken. I'm getting out of here. We're going to start up South Park shortly. So make sure you guys head on over to Twitch. For those of you guys who are watching this on demand, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys next time.